Okay. There we are. Okay, if you're joining us, bear with me. Trying to get everything to work here. All right. Well, we don't have Facebook working. Never a dull moment. Almost there, guys. Almost there. Okay. Hi, everybody. I know it's a little messy here. Bear with me. Hey, Sean, how are you doing? I see your question there, and I'll get to you in a minute here, my friend. I'm just getting things set up, so bear with me for a second. Let's see. How's everything looking here? Okay, we got a couple people here. We got a couple people there. Ah, okay, we got a couple people watching here. How we doing? Okay. All right. Well, Facebook has decided to be a pain in the butt. That's okay, though. We'll work with it. Oh, great! Thanks, Sean. I'm glad you're watching, and everything looks and sounds good. That's great. We'll start here in just a second here. So you know how everything is set up here. I have a television screen up here, so I can see everything as it's going in real time, just in case there's any funny business going on with the chat. Because this is all coming from what you're seeing. Sorry, this side here, this is all coming from Caster, which is the chat that I use. And sometimes that chat window is a little funky. And I couldn't tell you why, because it is a serious pain in the keister at times. But it's the best way for us to, go through it here and everything. So here's our top down. And the reason a little late getting out of the gate here is because we got a let's see what happened here. Oh yeah, my rowing machine just showed up, so it's been a little difficult getting it all working here. Okay, so I see somebody is we have a few people watching on YouTube. We have a couple people watching on Facebook. Fantastic. I know we're a little late out of the gate here, but we'll get going. I promise here in just a second. Okay, so we got a few people watching. Yeah. Okay. Well, I messed around enough with that. So, how you guys doing? It's Scott the Pedal Guy here. All about pedal demos, pedal knowledge, pedal sales, all that wonderful stuff. We'll bring the microphone a little closer here. So welcome to my weekly 1 hour hang here. Where I do this on Saturdays, and I try very hard to answer people's questions and cover new topics and show you a whole bunch of stuff and share some insider news and things that are going on here at the Pedal Guy and in the pedal world in general, as well as tell you probably a few things that nobody else will tell you. So you have you've come to the right place. If you have questions, use the comments section in Facebook or in YouTube. And for those of you who happen to be following this on Twitch, I'm not sure why, but if you do, go for it. I have to connect to Twitch in order to make the bloody chat window work. So it's kind of weird, isn't it? But use the comment section below. Well, it's over here on my screen. But use the comment section, shout out, let me know what you think. Let me know if you can hear everything just okay, if everything's making sense to you. We'll, without further ado, let's go ahead and get to it. So sorry we're a little late getting things started today. I had a delivery. Well, first I had to get all of the shipments done first because people have to have their pedals now. So I went ahead and got that done, it's everything's good there. And then I had a couple of orders show up today. I got a new rowing machine because I'm trying to get back into a workout routine of some sort. It's been obviously a tough time with COVID because the last place you're going to find me is at a gym, amongst other places as well, restaurants, libraries, long walks on the beach. Well, we'll still do walks on the beach, but still, have to be a little careful about those things. I'm very happy to know that there's now a third vaccine that's going to be available shortly. And that'll be good. And if you haven't made your appointment, and if you're of a qualifying age, you should probably go and get yourself a vaccine before too long. But enough about that. I think people are sick to death of hearing about COVID, but we obviously have to talk about it a little bit. So let's see. What are we going to cover today? Well, first, let's get the old drinky poo going on here. This is. For those of you who are wondering if I'm drinking a beer or not, the camera light here is a little funky. Sorry, I'm still getting used to how this all works, so bear with me. This is Waterloo sparkling water. It's a mineral water. It's wonderful. And this is coconut flavored. So coconut's good for you. Guys, if you are watching and you have questions, shout them out. I can see them on the chat window. Let me know if it's all looking okay and sounding okay. I am watching above, and I am watching also here on the main screen here. So let's talk about what happened this week. A lot of cool stuff in the hopper here. So we had a great interview on the Gear You Hear with. In fact, I should probably share this out, shouldn't I? While I'm talking about that, let's go ahead and share this out to a couple of groups here just to see what's going on and talk about as I'm going through this. So again, sorry, I know this is delaying the inevitable here, but there is a reason. Okay, so join us live. And I'm going to do the same thing here with another channel, another Facebook group that I frequent quite often, which is let's see, share your group, guitar pedals. All right, there we go. Okay, why get a vaccine when there's no proof it works? Well, Dave, that's always a question that is a loaded one, and I don't think this is really the right platform to discuss it, but this is what makes the world great, is get it if you want, get it if you don't want, but personally I will be getting it. My family, my parents were, they just got their second dose last week, and my in-laws are also in the process of getting their doses, so I'm happy to see that they're taking the measures to be safe. And that's all I'm going to say about it, okay? So in any case, let's get to it. Let's just pop that there. Okay, good. So let's do ourselves a big old fat favor and let's not talk about the pros and cons of that, because we're here to talk about pedals and all that fun stuff. So let's all be good and groovy and awesome. So in any case, what are we here to talk about today? Well, I'm going to bring out the NuX MG-30 for a little bit. And I'm also going to be talking about Lounsberry Pedals Organ Grinder. And I'm going to get to that in a second, and we'll talk about it a little bit, and I'll tell you what the Lounsberry is all about because it's really cool. Great, good for you, Dave. Anyway, okay, let's see. All right, we got some people watching. That's great. Shout out on there on Facebook if you can see this. If everything's looking okay on your side, would really appreciate if you'd let me know. And there you have it. Okay. All right, so what happened this week? Okay, so we had a lot of orders, typical stuff. One thing I can tell you guys, though, because a lot of people are asking about this, is where's my package? And I've had to get on the phone with FedEx and UPS and USPS, and I can tell you that because of the weather, that wonderful weather that some of us were experiencing out there, I'm still giving a shout out to everybody in Texas, and hopefully you're safe. That caused some delays, unfortunately. So be that as it may, I get it, and I hope that the post office will get their packages soon. I hope that you will get your packages soon. We have had one lost package that I've had to deal with, but in any case, there's that. The other thing too, and I mentioned this last week, is there's a lot of porch pirating going on too. So if you're going to order something, it doesn't matter if it's me or if it's Amazon or anybody else. Make sure that you give them a safe place to deliver the package, because if it disappears, while Amazon has been kind of this like beacon of absolution, and they will replace products for free and things like that. That's all fine and good, but when it comes to like eBay, when it comes to Reverb, when it comes to places like that, it doesn't exactly work the same way. Thankfully, Reverb has been awesome with a couple of my customers that did get some lost shipments, and I'm really sorry that happened, but they did take care of them, and that was great. eBay is a little more picky about those kind of things. So again, just be aware. If you know that there's something coming, just be on the lookout for it and make your life a little easier, okay? What else? Line 6. A lot of people are asking about Helix, and I'm happy to say that we're honing in on the final countdown for getting the Helix in here, as well as the HX Stomp. That is going to be happening. Hey, what's going on, Cool Music Tech? Good to see you. That's going to be happening sooner or later. We'll have the Helix here so that I'll be able to give people some demos on that. I know a lot of people have been asking about this, and I do want to ask a question here, and I'll ask it right here and now. I'd like to start doing some videos on more techie stuff, and maybe even some live events on more techie stuff. So is that something you'd like to see? And what I mean by techie stuff is I was thinking of maybe doing some stuff with Ableton Live, or possibly with Pro Tools, or possibly with Reaper, and maybe even Reason. Wrote a book on Reason, so I know a thing or two about Reason. Would you like to see something like that? Is that something that you'd want to see on this channel? Another thing I've been thinking about is maybe doing some guitar lessons of sort, not like, guitar lessons like a traditional thing, but more or less just to show you how I might interpret a couple of songs here and there just for fun. It can kind of get you into a little bit of trouble with copyright and all that wonderful stuff, but still, that would be kind of, interesting to see what people would think about that, and if that's something that you'd want to see or not see. So please do let me know, because I would like to do that. Synthesizers are something that I am doing now here. I do have them here, and we would bring those in. Raider, what's going on, buddy? How you doing? So I think, Cool Music Tech, I agree with you. I think it would be a good idea to bring that stuff in. I think it would be a good idea to cover some of that, mainly because of the questions that I get asked, and the fact that I've spent the majority of my career in high tech. So going all the way back there to the 90s, cast your mind back all the way to the 90s, I did a lot of work on high tech stuff. And it's one of those things that I specialize at. So why not share the wealth? You might also notice and let me see if I get it right here, that I did, there's a little note there asking you to support the channel. I was a little reluctant to put that up, but, Well, here's the thing. So realistically, right? There's a lot of people that subscribe to the Pedal Guy channel. There's a lot of people that follow us on Facebook. And I'm also working on really trying to do more stuff on Instagram as well. I'm going to start doing these streams on, I'll be doing these streams on Instagram as well. Kind of like a repeat. Hopefully not as disjointed as this is starting to get. But in any case, there's a lot of subscribers on the YouTube channel. And while I appreciate it, I love it, and thank you very much for subscribing, there's about 70 to 80% of you that aren't even in the United States, and that's cool, man. I'm totally down for it. But if you do get a chance, use the super chat and show a little love. Help support the channel, because that's how I can continue to share all of this wonderful information with you guys for free, and give you guys all these great tutorials and all that stuff. It does take time to do this work, again, I'm just going to mention it, and that's why it's right down there at the bottom. So if you feel like being generous and helping a friend out in supporting the channel and supporting what I do, I would greatly appreciate it. So in any case, there you have it. Okay. Okay, so what else is going on in the world today? Okay, couple things. I did get a question about yesterday's video. Yesterday's video was a rehash of let's see what's going on. Yesterday was a rehash of last week's tutorial, where I showed you how to use a Headrush pedal board with a Digitech Trio, and undoubtedly somebody asked, can I do that with the Ampero? And unfortunately, the answer is not exactly, because as you can see, there is not a send and return on the Ampero. However, I did a video on how to do this with and I did a live stream with it as well on how to do it with the, hey Casey, how you doing, buddy? Raider, you rock, dude. You rock. Okay, thank you very much, Raider. I appreciate that. Raider just did a super chat, and I'm glad I talked you into it. Thank you so very much. I appreciate that. I did do a video on how to do it with the NuX MG-30, and it is pretty much about the same. So it's the same process that you would do with the Ampero. So keep that in mind. Okay, I am rambling like crazy right now. One last thing just to tell you what's going on with Hot Tone. There is some stuff going on with Hot Tone right now, and you guys should know what's going on there. Oh, good. So the chat is working on Facebook now. Okay, I'm seeing it. That's great. That's awesome. Good. Thank God. I was getting a little irritated about that. So Hot Tone has some stuff going on. They have changed suppliers now, and well, that means that there's going to be a little bit of a dip in supply. I can tell you that sometime next month I will have the Ampero switches back in stock, and I'll have a few of the other things back in stock. I'm honestly a little pissed off about it, frankly. I'll tell you why. Throughout the last year, I kept getting told that you're right, Casey. They are really great pedals. This is more about the supplier more than anything. So throughout the entire year, I was being told that this product was being discontinued, that product was being discontinued, and it just turns out that it was just a complete load of bull. Actually, a lot of that stuff is still very much in production. It's just that the supplier in the United States decided we're not going to carry it anymore. So they made it. I don't know why they did this, but things like the X Stomp is still very much a current product. The Britwind, the Mojo Attack, all those other things, they are still in production. The Jog audio interface, it's all still in production, and yet nobody bothered to, fix that problem. But I guess now, better late than never, they have fixed it, and Hot Tone is now going to be stocked and distributed by Hal Leonard, which is a publishing company, but they also happen to be an extremely large distributor too. So we're getting products back for Hot Tone, and I'm really looking forward to that. Also, the Washburn stuff is very much on its way too. They've been way behind and back orders and everything else, so we should see something very soon on that. So a lot of good stuff going on there. Neil, dude, you rock, man. You rock. Thank you so very much. I'm told I need to do something silly when somebody does a super chat. Maybe I'll play a lick that nobody wants to hear when I get the guitar out. Okay, kids, I have delayed the inevitable long enough here, and I have to start working on a pizza in a little while. So we do need to get things going here. So I'm going to switch cameras, and we're going to talk about a few fun-filled facts. Okay. So here's my top-down camera. There's my hand. How you doing? And you can see that we have the MG-30 here, and I have the Lounsberry pedals organ grinder over here. And this is a really awesome pedal. I'm going to talk about this in a second. I want to touch on one quick little thing because one of my subs on YouTube asked a couple of questions about how to do a reset on the Trio Plus. So I wanted to cover that very quickly here. So what you do is you hold down the guitar effects and the alt time while you're plugging in the, let's see if I can do this with my meat hooks here. So let's just put that in a little bit. Hold down these two buttons. So again, the guitar effects and the alt time, hold those down. And then hold it down and watch as the LEDs are coming on. Okay, it is resetting. You can let go. All right, there you go. That's how you do a factory reset on the, I think that's how you smoke on the water. Okay, no problem. You got it. That's how you do a factory reset on the Trio Plus. A lot of people, this subscriber asked about it, and hopefully that will help you out a little bit. I don't want to talk about the Trio today, though. That would be obviously. How many times can we talk about the Trio? I don't know, but I think I'm figuring that out pretty fast, frankly. Okay, but I want to talk about the stuff that I've got here on the table. So we have a couple of products here. We have the MG-30. Now, that's something I didn't talk about, and I do want to talk about it really quick, okay? Because I have gotten a lot of mails about that particular product. A lot of people keep asking about it. And when is it going to be here? And when can I get it? And will you accept money now? And all that fun stuff. People are calling and writing from other countries. Yeah, okay, let's okay, thank you. I'm glad you like my hair. Yeah, I decided not to wear a hat today. So you get COVID hair is what you get. Okay, so back on the MG-30. I hope you're listening. Are you? Okay. It's not going to be here until the end of March or the middle of April. That's the easiest way I can put it. This has to go through, the product has to go through what's known as FCC authorization before it can be shipped into the United States. Otherwise, it'll get stuck at customs and it'll never get out. I'm assuming that's what the issue is as far as like FCC, but they are waiting for that authorization. Once they have it, they can ship it. There has been some, pardon my French, but there's some absolute bullshit out there about when it's going to show up. It will not show up on the 5th of March, as some people seem to think it will. That's not going to happen. Thomann, if they're telling you it's going to be there on March 10th, they're full of it. I don't think that's going to be the case at all. Maybe they don't have to follow the same rules that we do here in the United States, but nevertheless, that's what's going on there. I just want to be very clear about that. But I have pre-ordered a good chunk of the incoming inventory that is coming in. So I will have it up online this week. There will be a video this Friday coming up about the MG-30. There'll be numerous videos coming up about the MG-30. I did a video on it, as you know, a little bit ago, and I got torn a new one for releasing that a little too early. Although other people have it out, so basically, whatever, right? I understand the sensitivity to it, but the genie's out of the bottle on this one. And also for you Headrush guys, and I forgot to mention this, new firmware coming up this Tuesday. If you are a Headrush user, you're going to want to check this out, guys, because it's really hot stuff. I can't show you what's in it yet, but I have a brand new video that will be out the day the new firmware drops. It's actually going to require 2 videos to get it done. So keep that in mind. Okay. All right. I'm done talking about that. And hopefully you're done listening to it. Raider, keeping it real. All right. MG-30, how much? It's going to be $299. And I will start shipping it as soon as I can. I'll start taking pre-orders as soon as I can. So let's you know, be patient, and good things will come to those who wait. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the MG-30 in a few minutes, and we're just going to do some improvisational, just let's go through it, let's take a look at it, let's talk about it a little bit. Because I think you guys would like to see something like that. Give me a shout if you'd like to, okay? Okay, on the other side though here, I have what's called the organ grinder. I'm going to unplug this really quick so I can bring it up to the camera, and let's not lose our cables, because that's kind of important. I'm going to bring this up so you can have a look at this. So what we're looking at here is the Lounsberry Pedals organ grinder. Greg Lounsberry, he's on the East Coast. He makes some amazing pedals. He happens to be a keyboard player by trade. So the reason I'm talking about it in this forum is because the Lounsberry organ grinder is a pedal that's pretty unique in what it does. As the name would imply, it works really well with keyboards and organs and all that stuff. But it also works exceptionally well with bass, and it works really well with guitar. And I want to play a little bit through it so you can hear what it does to your analog signal. Even though it's going into a digital, it's going in here to the MG-30, it still is pretty awesome. So we're going to dive into that in a second. So what it is a multi-gain, it's a multi-gain staged preamp. And what makes it unique is that it's actually tuned for all of those instruments. So a lot of guitar pedals are not tuned for the frequency range of, say, something like a keyboard. Now, there are some pedals that are interchangeable between guitar and bass. And in some cases, a bass fuzz sounds really damn good on a guitar, doesn't it? I have a video that shows you how to do that with a Hartke HF44. However, when you use a guitar pedal on keyboards, it tends to sound pretty honky because all the low end is gone, all of the high end's pretty much gone. You just got that mid-range honk that's going on there. That's a technical term, isn't it? The organ grinder addresses this by being that kind of pedal that covers the entire frequency range. And it just sounds amazing when you get it going. And Greg's got a whole bunch of different pedals that apply to this. He's got like the whirly grinder. Oop, I think we lost it there. Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay. Well, that's a bummer because I had a preset all set up there, but I guess we'll dig in there and see what we can do. Okay, so okay, we'll get into this in just one second. All right. So in any case, the great thing about the okay, I'm looking at something here from Neil. Had the MG-300 for a week, and I must say that the factory presets are horrid and unusable. I have written new presets and have had moderate success, but to tell you the truth, my Moore radar is far superior. Well, you know, Neil, everybody's got an opinion, right? And I'm sorry the MG-300 isn't working out for you, but hopefully, hopefully the presets you're coming up with will be great. I have tons of free presets that I've done for videos. All you have to do is just go through the channel and look, and you'll see those, the links where you can grab those. I did a Kiss preset recently, Metallica, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, Nirvana. So you can have a little fun with those, and hopefully that'll work for you. But anyway, back to our regularly scheduled program here. What we're going to do is plug in a guitar and show you what it can do with a guitar, and then I'll also even plug in a bass and show you what can happen. But I'm going to preface this by saying this very quickly. I'm not a bass player. I'm just a guy. I'm just a guitar player that plays bass. And if you're one of those guys, you know what I'm talking about, right? Okay, so food for thought. Okay, so let's go ahead and get the old guitar out. Now this is This is a new one I brought out for today. This is another Yamaha. This is an SE150 that's obviously had a color. It's had a very interesting paint job here. I bought this last year on eBay because well, the SE150 was actually my very first guitar, and this one has a Floyd Rose whammy, and it's great. And the cool thing about this one in particular is that it comes down to just one pickup, which I think has been pretty cool. As far as I know, yes, the MG-300 presets can be loaded into the MG-30. But let's see, it generally works out pretty good if you plug in the guitar into the pedals, or so I've told. All right, here we go. Let's switch to the top down. Okay, it's also throw on the Yaza. The headphone level is so hot. Okay, so okay, let's go ahead and make some adjustments. And that's my doggy in the background, in case you're wondering. Oh, wait, Neil, for you. Okay, I did that one just for you, man. Okay, so we've got a clean preset here. And what I'm gonna do is, let's go ahead and try to make this as clean as possible here. So let's kill off the EQ. And I think the amp that's being used here is a twin verb. That's okay. We'll go ahead and use that amp. And I'll keep the reverb there as well. And what I can do is just simply turn on the organ grinder. So we have the level and we have the drive. So I want to make it clear, this is an overdrive. This is very responsive. It's not something like a tube screamer. It's a very different type of sound. So this would be, in a guitar world, this would be perfect for stacking sounds. So here's where we were before. Here's where we are now. Okay, so I have everything's basically turned up to 10 on the guitar. We have our level. I'm going to keep the level where it is, and just make a couple of adjustments there with the drive. All right, so it's really good. It's really good for just warming things up a little bit. For guitar, for keyboards, I'm gonna put at some point what I'll do is I'll bring a synthesizer in, and I will put a synth through the organ grinder. You can hear what it sounds like for yourself. In fact, I've actually done that already on another video, but that was then, this is now. I'm gonna try something a little more concise there. Now, if you're like on the market for like something that's a bit more of a traditional overdrive, Greg also has a guitar overdrive called the Nigel, which is a touch overdrive, and it responds really nicely. But I think that this actually sounds really decent, kind of as a boost, if you will. You can get really nice and melty if you want. So you can definitely take this thing over the top. And you probably are noticing that it's a bit rounder in sound and perspective, and that's because, like I said, it's tuned for different instruments. It's not just tuned for just one instrument. So to prove that, I'm going to bring out my Hofner here and see how this works. Okay. Tom, how you doing? Good to see you. Bear with me, guys. Oh, boy. Yeah, they say the camera adds 10 pounds. Whew. That's a rough 10, buddy. It's a rough 10. Okay. So here's my Hofner. Okay. All right. Now, let's take a look here at our settings. We're obviously using the wrong kind of amp, aren't we? So we need to fix that. So first things first, let's just go ahead and see if we can find a bass. Let's see, there's one here. There's a bass preset somewhere here. Hello? Oh, you know what? What we'll do is we'll do this instead. So I'm going to turn off the reverb. I'm going to turn off the EQ. I'm going to turn off the effects. And I'm just going to go in here and I'm going to select a bass preamp so you can hear what's going on here. So we're just digging through it, guys. We're digging through it. Hope you like this. Give me a shout out. Bass guy. Well, I don't want to do the bass guy because, well, I want to do the Melvin Lee because that's an awesome bass amp. Yeah, so what I'll do as I'm demoing this is I'll turn the mic down a little bit. Let's see if that is that working? No, it's not. Okay. Well, let's see. Let me make a couple adjustments here. Oh, I see what I can do. I can pull the mic back a little bit here, and I'm working in OBS, by the way, in case you're wondering. Okay, there we go. All right. How's that sound, guys? Let me know. Okay, so first thing is I'm putting the pick down. Put the pick down. Okay, let's make a couple of adjustments here, though. First off, let's go to the let's go here to the middle, the treble, the middle frequency. I'm gonna pull that back just a little bit, and then I'm gonna go and pull that gain back, turn the master up, give the bass a little kick, take that middle back. Maybe take the master all the way up. All right. Can you, okay, can't hear the bass. Were you able to hear the guitar? Because it's there. I promise it's there. In fact, let me double check real quick. Yeah, it's all there. We're getting audio through. It's probably because, oh, you can hear it. Okay, thank you, Ro. Yeah, probably because I need to turn the I need to turn the bass, turn the mic down while I'm doing this. But I just want to show you what this does, what the Lounsberry pedal does for bass guitar, because it's just wow with a capital W. Okay, so here is the original tone. The bass sounds unplugged. Okay, that's because, yeah, it's what I'm going to do is I'm going to kill the mic here a little bit. I'm just going to go ahead and just mute that sucker. And let's do a, you'll be able to hear it a lot better, okay? All right, so what'd you think of that? I mean, I know I'm just kind of just dicking around on it a little bit here. Can hear it, but it's a little faint. Well, on my side, it's a little strong, so it could be just because I need to make a couple of finer adjustments to it. But it's that I love this pedal to death. And maybe if I have an Ibanez back there, a bass that I probably should have used instead, but I was running short of time for setup. But the cool thing about the organ grinder is that it just gives you that nice growl. It gives you a really nice growl that you can apply to bass, to guitar, and also to keys. And that's really the magic right there. Greg also makes another pedal called the Tall and Fat, which is just the nicest clean boost you've ever heard in your life. And I sell stuff like that all the time, and I sell that pedal in particular all the time, as well as the organ grinder. And he also even makes a stereo one called Tall, Fat, and Wide, which is another clean FET boost. And of course, these are boutique pedals. Okay, so boutique pedals, they cost more than the manufactured ones do. So you gotta have to take it with a grain of salt. But if you want a quality sound, I mean, accept no substitutes. Greg makes a great product. And if you are a bass player that's looking specifically for something that's bassy, Rupert is the bass overdrive that he does. And he even does a fuzz pedal called the Smiling Jack, which is pretty decent. And he made one for a short time called the Amp Rescue, which I think is hot shit. That one sounds amazing. And I love that thing to death. Now I want to start playing bass, but thankfully, guys, I won't, okay? But what I will do here is let's unplug the guitar really quick. And the bass, let's go back to the guitar. Let's go back to what I can actually play with some proficiency. Okay. What you need here. Well, that doesn't sound so great because that doesn't sound so great because it's a bass amp. Okay, I want to take a look at some of the comments I'm getting here. Okay, can hear, but it's a little faint. Been noticing that the bass sound always seems to sound bad on YouTube live streams. Well, when you look, there'll probably be a point where I'll do like a more all-inclusive video that'll be uploaded with much better audio quality. We can only do, obviously on live streams, we can only do so much with that and have just so much control over it. But that sounds pretty bad and muffly. Well, that probably is, again, one of the results of just working with a lower bit rate, unfortunately. So I had it all actually dialed in, and then for some reason the power turned off and turned back on the pedal here on the MG-30. So we'll have to delve back into that at some point. Okay, let's bring the MG back a little bit. The organ grinder is not plugged in, or it's not turned on. So what I'll do here is let's go back here and let's take a look at some of the things here. Now, as I said a little earlier, this is more about just kind of being a little more improvisational and looking at just the unit itself to kind of get everybody up to speed on it. Now, in case you're wondering what, let's kill that for a second. In case you're wondering what are the differences between, there we go, okay. What are the differences between the MG-300 and the MG-30? Well, I've done a video already for that, and you'll be able to watch that next week when I'm allowed to start posting. They want me to wait until the 5th of March before I start posting full-on videos on that stuff. So I've been a little careful about that, obviously, because I have a great relationship with them, and I don't want to piss them off. They're great guys, and they're working so hard under the conditions that they're in, and it's kind of a stinker. But anyway, okay, so let's take a look at a couple of things here. So let's take a look at some of the features here really quick. So one thing that's really cool about first off, on the surface level, one of the things that's really great about the MG-30 is that the build quality on this thing, it's built like a freaking tank. It's a nice metal chassis. It's not plastic like the MG-300, but of course, keep in mind that the MG-300 is $150 and this is double that price. So double the price, you're going to get double the features and double the build quality. One of the things that I think is really great about it too is that you've got the signal block section over here on the right hand side that I can start turning off and on different signal blocks within the chain when I'm working with it. So if I don't want, say, that reverb, maybe bring in the mod. I don't know what's on there yet. I'll have to go in and look, but effects. Delay. Bring the reverb back. I mean, you get the point. The point is that I can turn stuff on and off really fast with the signal blocks, and I think that's pretty cool. If you want to get into it and start looking at what effects you're using or what you're using in a particular setup or preset here, you'll just use the rotary encoder here, press and hold, and with the knob you can now select different amps if you want to, depending on what you're selecting, but you can also use it like a joystick where you can go down the list here. So like the analog delay, if we wanted to add a delay, if we want to change it, just use the rotary part of the encoder. And once you've selected the effect you want, let's see, maybe the pan delay. Oof, I love stereo. Once you've done that, then you can start using the 4 encoders here to then start editing it down. So I know I'm kind of looking at it at a wanky angle here, but let's see here. Well, it's not exactly what I meant to do there, but anyway, you get the idea. Like I said, this is more of an improvisational demonstration of it more than anything, because I haven't used it yet, so really in depth. You know, that does bring up an interesting question, because I do get this a lot, and people want to know how long I spend on a product before I do a demo. Many times, and you might be surprised by this, many times I'll only use it for a couple of hours before I start doing any demos on it, mainly because I know exactly what I want to get out of it when I start working with it. What sounds do I want to hear? What features do I want to cover? Things like that. And then I try to do that so that I get that Christmas Day approach. You know, like when I'm opening it, well, I haven't opened a Christmas gift in years because we're living in our Christmas gift. It's our house. But when I get that gift and I open it up and wow, okay, what's this all about? I dig into it really fast and I start working with it. And I want to give people first impressions. I find that works much better in a review perspective or in a feature perspective. And then I do subsequent videos where I dig into the deeper topics and all of that. I don't try to overblow it where I'll say something, you know, where I'll just sit there and just work with it for a couple of weeks and then try to come up with something. I think that's not very fresh. I don't think it's very introspective. I think it's what do I call it? I call it the Steely Dan approach. Okay, and if you listen to the last Steely Dan record, God bless him, but you know what I'm talking about. It had no spontaneity to it. It sounded very cold, and that's because they worked it and worked it and worked it and worked it until all of the freshness just was worked out. And that's kind of how I feel about some of the demos that I see from time to time. People work with it for a little too long and they don't give you like their first impressions. That's different than how I do it. When I do it, I almost will just play with the product for like an hour or two, maybe a day, depending on how in depth it is. Because I just want to give you first impressions, because I think that honestly, as a shopper, that would make you a little more excited about the product. Because if I'm showing genuine excitement for a product, then hopefully you'll be sharing that along with me. Okay, so that's why this is a little more off the cuff and not so not so rehearsed. Let's see. That's the beauty of doing these on a Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon or whatever. Okay, so let's take a look at this particular preset here. So RG Angus. Well, it doesn't take it doesn't. Let's see. This is totally out where my latest guitar, an ES335, is the best $600 I've ever owned. Ah, good. Okay, great. I only got 5 minutes to live. All right, Ken, I got some bad news for you. You're gonna miss a lot of things if you only got 5 minutes. All right. Okay, so if we want to get into edit mode here, I'm going to do that really quick. Okay, so press on the encoder, and from here I can then use the joystick part of the encoder to then go through the various presets in here. RC boost. You know what? This looks surprisingly like my. This looks surprisingly like the one that I created with the. That I created for my MG-300 series. I wonder if somebody is sniping my tones. I'm not sure who RG is, but RG, that looks suspiciously like the ones I created for the MG-300. So if you're creating tones and using my tones to create other people's tones, well, I'm looking at you. I know you're watching this video, RG, whoever you are. Don't do that. That's called plagiarism, kid. All right. So who knows? Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I used a greenback and I used an 87 amp. And I definitely used the boost. So I'm betting money I'll go back and watch that and I'll see somebody's been dicking around on that. So anyway, okay. Well, enough about that. So if I want to put in, like, say, a modulation effect, I can add it by just pressing the signal block and turning it on, and you can see that that's there now. So if I go over to the modulation, it's a flanger, and let's see, boom. Let's. Oh, now we got kind of a barracuda sound, right? Oh, when I get a tremolo arm, boy, boy, boy. Let's see here. So if we want to make any adjustments, or if we want to, like, say, change this to something else, like maybe a phase 90. Ooh, I like that. Let's see, Univibe. There we go. Let's change that speed a little bit. Yeah, that's a good sounding vibe right there, isn't it? I mean, these are all stuff. This is all stuff that you'd find in the MG300. It's just that the GUI is a little nicer, I think. But obviously, there are a few additions here. I just haven't sussed them all out yet. But like, if we keep going here, let's turn off the modulation and we go to the delay. All of these delays are pretty much in the MG300, except the duo time. That's not in the MG300. That's in the MG-30. Any big reverbs? Oh, I would imagine there are some nice reverbs here. Let's take a look at them reverbs. There we go. What was that? Oh, that was the wah. Okay. So hall. Let's see. Let's go to the beginning here. So we have the room reverb, the hall reverb, the plate reverb. These are all in the MG300. Spring reverb. But this one is not. The shimmer. This one is... Let's see if I can do that. So that sounds pretty nice, doesn't it? Okay, so that's the last one. But remember, this is just like the beginning for them. They're definitely going to be, there'll definitely be more stuff going along here for the MG-30. I think this is going to be a flagship product for them. And my hope is that I'll be able to really, do more. Well, I absolutely will do more demos. I do more demos all the time. It's just I'm sorry, I'm a little scatterbrained at the moment here because it's getting to be 1:15, and unfortunately we're going to have to end this pretty soon. So I have a pizza to make. I'm doing something kind of special today. I created what's called a puli, which is a fermented dough that I'm going to use to, oh gosh. Okay, there we go. Here's my COVID hair. Ha ha! I'm in dire need of a haircut, aren't I? Let's see. Okay, there's a Headrush question here in a second. I'm gonna get to that in 1 second. So anyway, the puli is like a fermented dough. You then pop it into the pizza dough, and you get nice puffy pizza. So we're gonna have a little fun with that today. Thank God I got my new rowing machine just showed up. I'm gonna set it up later today and try to keep that belly line in check. Okay, let's talk about Headrush really quick. Oh, I want to actually, Casey, I want to answer your question here really quick. Cool Pedal would like to hear it with just a regular amp, the Organ Grinder. Agreed, and I will absolutely do something like that in more of a concentrated format in a tutorial video. Mainly because I have to make sure I've got my times correct here. Because I share the workspace with my wife, who's on the flip side here when she's doing her therapy sessions, and it's not such a good idea to blast an amp when she's doing that. So I am going to do something that'll be a little more in time with doing it with a real amp so you can hear it. And then, of course, I'll put a synthesizer through it as well. You can really hear what it can do. Okay, let's talk about the Headrush really quick. So next Tuesday, there is going to be a Headrush update. Very exciting update. Now, while it's not like a game changer as far as everything it's got, it will have new amps. It will have new effects, and it will have some bug fixes, and then it's got a very cool update to it as well, which I can't give you everything on it yet, but it's coming along, and I think you're going to really like what you see and hear. The in fact, it's going to take 2 videos to get through it because I almost dropped. I almost spilled the beans. Yeah, can't do it yet. There is one feature that's going to require a second video to explain it because I want to try to give you guys the most bang for the buck. So what I actually did for the demo video is I actually created scenes in the Headrush that really show you all of the groovy features of that will show you all the groovy features of the Headrush, the new updates. So the new effects, the new amps, all of that. I'll be able to do click, 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 and just go through it and show you what it can do. So we'll be able to probably boil that down to less than 10 minutes for sure. So in any case, that's going to happen. Really looking forward to that. Hoping you will enjoy that as well. Let's see. Ken, hope that MG will support snapshots. I hope so too. Haven't gone into it yet, but I'm definitely going to dig into it. And there were also some questions about Midi and all that fun stuff. I want to just kind of put that out there. Yes, there is Midi on the MG-30. How deep does the rabbit hole go? I have no idea. But if you're going to use it with a Midi interface of some sort, you want to make sure that you use a USB Midi interface. It's like $50 if that. Okay, Neil, okay, I'm assuming you're saying I will use the MG-300 for 2 more days to prove itself and then get back to the shop. I am so disappointed because the reviewers were pretty positive. I know what I like and it ain't there. Well, that happens, right? That happens. Just because I think the product's cool, there are people that are just loyalists to what they use. And I think I noticed earlier you were comparing it to the Moore radar. And look, Moore makes some great products. I would love nothing more than to bring Moore into the store here at the Pedal God. But I have to look at things from a monetary perspective. And the fact that the marketplace on those products are so all over the place, it's really hard to make a decent living off of it. I hate to say it, but it's the truth. So that's why we haven't brought it in. If they ever get their poop in a group, I'll be more than happy to look at them and bring them in. But NuX has been a really great brand for us, and that's why I continue to support them. But I get it. Not everybody likes it. Not everybody likes the Headrush either. But you guys know I support the crap out of that. Not everybody likes the Ampero. But the Ampero is a really great sounding multi-effects processor, and it is amazing. But nevertheless, it's a matter of opinion, and that's the beauty of all of this, is that there's so many choices out there, guys. You don't have to do it just because I say it's great. Hopefully you'll like it. Hopefully you'll get into it. But I get it. Some people don't like it. Some people do, and I'm not putting it down either way. But there are always ways around it. Impulse responses can make things better. Different pickups can make things better. I do have, truthfully, I have some guitars that sound better through the NuX products than other. I was actually, like the Pofners sound pretty decent through it. But then I have a Gibson that doesn't sound all that great through it. Not the Explorer. The Explorer sounds fantastic. I use that for the Metallica presets and all that. But yeah, it's a totally different thing, man. So I get it, and I'm not offended if you think I am or anything like that. I'm not at all. Everybody's got an opinion, and I say, whatever works for you, whatever floats your boat, right? So let's see here. There's a couple of things. Can you load an MG-300 preset? Well, just casually as I've been going through it, it looks like that those presets are already in there. Now, if you have like a custom one, I don't see why it wouldn't be possible, because it's built on the same idea as the QuickTone. Now, the QuickTone editor looks a little different. When I get to it for the next video, I promise you, I will dig into that big time and show you what you can do. Because I know that I'm going to release a video that takes you through the pros and cons between the two. And obviously there will be a need for a follow-up video to that. So hope that helps you out. Let's see. Do yourself a favor and throw some IRs on it. Couldn't agree with you more on that, Radar. It's the IRs are a beautiful thing, and I am so happy that people are getting into those things in the last few years. Back in the 90s, when we first started trying to get people into the idea of impulse responses, acoustic stamping is what it used to be called. It was really, it was messy. And people just weren't getting it. It was just right over the top, you know? Okay, so let's see. Grab the free IR pack from Spectre Sound Studios and thank me later. Glenn makes some amazing stuff. He's an interesting character for sure. Well, you know what can I say? But he's an interesting character, but he does make some great stuff. So Neil wrote, Raider, why would they put bad IRs in it from the factory? Well, I mean, again, that's a matter of opinion. I think the IRs sound pretty damn good, but IRs there's a million different ways to capture an impulse response from a cabinet. It's no two are alike. And I'll tell you one thing though, there are different microphones on the MG-30 as far as the impulse responses go. So that's kind of interesting to work with. Yeah, we'll just leave it at that for now. Let's see. It's because they know 100% sure that people have their own favorite IRs, so they don't even try on their own. I think it's smart on their part, actually. Yeah, that could be true. That could be true. I'm telling you, the IRs are the biggest change you can make for the pedal by far. All right, that's all good information. Well, anyway, guys, it is getting on to be almost 1:30 now. I have to call it a day at this point because I have got to get on with the other things that I need to do today. The aforementioned pizza bake. Maybe I'll post some pictures of that later so you can get a good laugh out of that. And it'll be our inside joke between all of us that have been watching this. So hopefully this will help you out. Next week, well, you know, honestly, next week I'm struggling with some ideas on what to talk about because, well, I'm not really struggling. I just like to poll you guys and ask for it. So let me know what you think. If there's anything that you guys want to see me cover that I've got around here, I will be more than happy to try to do that. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. All right. So anyway, thanks very much, everybody, for joining. If you are watching this on Facebook, please do follow the Pedal Guy on Facebook. I post almost every day, new videos every week, all that fun stuff. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you very much for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do and hit the like button. There are so many videos, so much content for you to check out. I hope you will take some time to check it out for yourself. Thanks so much. And of course, by all means, if you have any other questions, use the comment section and I'll try to get back to you when I can. All right. So thank you very much. And we will.